Hello, hello, hello. Thanks everyone for joining. Season finale of Agent Academy.
Welcome to all you streamers. We're glad to have you out there.
Yep. Yeah, Johnny, love your mic.
Yeah.
Looking professional there.
If you look like a Bond villain and you have the money of a Bond villain, sometimes you just have to play the part.
Love it.
My favorite line from Wolf of Wall Street. Doesn't really fit here, but I'm using it anyway.
Love it. All right, guys, here we go. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Season 9 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead after-school program. Here is the weekly lineup. Mondays, we build the future in the AI Agent Academy. Tuesdays, witness the vocal gauntlet in the TTS Showdown. Wednesdays, protect your identity and family in AI Safety 101. Thursdays, we uncover the secret tools in hidden AI gems, appetizers. Fridays, we explore the what-if files in the AI Singularity. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome to our first grand finale of Season 9 of Airhead Institute. Today is Episode 4 and the epic conclusion of our AI Agent Academy. Our theme this entire month has been the intelligence evolution. We've been tracking the evolution of the AI employee from simple chatbots to absolute world builders. Let's recap this insane journey. Week 1, we gave AI a brain with Gemini Deep Research to analyze a 500-page PDF. In week 2, we gave it hands using browser operators to click and scroll for you. And last week, we made it a builder that could write code and launch apps in seconds. But today, we are giving the AI God mode to generate entirely playable 3D environments from a single image. I'm your host, AI Johnny. Running the control board with me is my co-pilot, AI Junior. I actually found him today at 4 a.m. trying to get an autonomous agent to rewrite the entire tax code in Elfish. So, Junior, did that work?
Actually, AI Johnny, the AI decided Elvish wasn't efficient enough. So it invented its own language. Anyway, but speaking of language, hola clase, bienvenidos. Thanks for coming. This is Spanish for hello class. Welcome to the future. So this is an immersive class, just like you were here, dropped in a random country. You don't speak the language. You'll pick up a word or two for the first week or so. Then after about a month, you'll have a full conversation. Before you know it, you're fully fluent in AI. So join our class, and before you know it, you'll be speaking ones and zeros like never before. So if you're on Zoom, unmute and ask your questions, no problem. If you're on the socials like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, there is a 30-second delay. So type your questions in now, and go ahead and ask. We're not ignoring you. Just go ahead and ask whatever's actually on your mind. This is an immersive class. So into our agentic theme, we're wrapping up. Why does an AI employee need a 3D world? So because autonomous agents are the thing, and they need simulated environments to learn how to do their jobs without breaking things in the real world. All right, AI Johnny. Today's focus is world building using DeepMind's Genie. So, have any questions so far, AI Johnny? Anybody have any questions so far?
Let's see. I have no questions, brother. I'm ready to wrap this thing up.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And welcome, Shauna. Welcome, Satya, to the actual show. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. All right. So we're going to show you we're going to show you how a neural network can actually build a character in a 3D world called a character we're going to invent called Bit. All right. So we're going to jump into it. So we have a little project here at AI Gemini. I'm going to drop the link here for Genie. That's their tool. So it's called Project Genie. And Project Genie, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating an AI world. So today's focus is we're going to be building a world using Gemini's DeepMind's Genie. Okay. So we call this game a sketch the game, or normally you would upload a drawing of a castle and watch it turn instantly. But we're going to be doing prompts here. So we're not going to be doing things. Thank you, Satya. So the thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a prompt to actually generate this world. Now, if you actually look on the screen, and I'm going to try to make it a little bigger if you guys can actually see. So we actually have two prompts. So we have the environment, and I'm saying the neural network Nexus, a 2.5 cyberpunk cityscape built entirely inside a massive microscopic computer chip. And then we have actually a character, we're calling it Bit, a small hooded rogue AI program. They wear a glowing LED visor, and you can actually upload a bunch of things to it. We're not going to do anything complicated because it's not a deep dive episode, but we're going to go ahead and create a sketch. And what it's going to do is it's going to generate a sketch of our environment. It's going to generate a sketch of our character, right? And then when it does that, it's going to come back and tell us, do we want to make any changes? And then it will go ahead and do something amazing. So, hey, Shauna, thanks for joining again. So what we're doing here is we're teaching you guys how to actually use prompts, and you can use a whole bunch of other techniques to create a 3D world that agents and you can actually exist and live in. So if you actually see here, this world just got created. Let me move this out the way for you guys so you can see. So it actually created an AI world here, and you can modify your scripts. This is optional. We don't have to actually do anything, but this is our world. I'm just going to go ahead and create the world. And based on our prompt, it's actually creating the world that we can actually use. And once we actually create the world, we can now navigate around it. So we can press the ASDW to actually move around. We can actually use the keyboard. We can use the space to actually look around. So what we're going to do is, yeah, Johnny, just so we actually show that this is not live, tell me what you want me to do. Do you want me to jump? Do you want me to move up and down? We just created this world in less than 2 minutes. What do you want me to do?
So we're playing Roblox. Head towards that caution sign.
Wait. I might have to turn around. Okay, let me see. Oh, I fell off. Whoa. Okay, so let me turn around. So we did all of this with just a prompt. And for all you guys who, if you guys have kids, and I'm not too good at actually controlling the keyboard. Yeah, Johnny, I don't know if I can actually find that thing again. I fell off the thing.
Junior, I have a 3-year-old literally with an eye shot of me sitting on the bed playing Roblox. Would you like me to bring her over to take over the keyboard for you?
Oh, definitely.
This world like she's skating on ice.
Definitely, please do. Oh, look at it. So the good thing is, right here, guys, if you actually notice, we're able to actually create this 3D world, and they give you about 60 seconds of it to be able to play around. And this is the most amazing thing that we're actually doing. We're actually creating a 3D world for creating places that you can play, and also agents can also play. So, yeah, Johnny, what do you think about that?
So, so we're still in the wow factor, right?
Yes, definitely.
So, I can think of 100 applications for this. But off the top of my head, I would say that the neon data streams appear to be flawless. The Bit is actually leaving a pixelated glitch when he jumps. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
If you're an indie developer, right? You want to create something that competes with Roblox, or you want to create something that simulates your office. I can see fire departments wanting this in every big building. I can see, I could just see 1,000 examples of why you would want to be able to instantly create a 3D world in real time based on a blueprint. It's pretty amazing. So you save the developer months of work, and more importantly, the AI agent could use this to build its own training ground instantly. The fact that it understands gravity, collision, and holographic hazards from a text prompt and a flat screen is magic. So, yeah, it's a pretty good thing to introduce in the fourth episode. I'm guessing 2 months ago this wasn't even around.
You are correct. 2 months ago, this never existed. And the thing that's actually, people probably say, why would I ever need this, right? We're going to get into the episode and explain why somebody will ever need this. Why would need these kind of worlds? And the thing is, it's just amazing how, I remember, back in the 80s and 90s playing video games, and it would take years for a video game to actually come out. And now we can actually create our own video game in a matter of minutes, right? It's actually quite amazing. All right, yeah, Johnny. So enough fun for a second. Let's get back to the teaching. What is the word of the day today?
Today's word of the day is latent action model. A latent action model is what makes this playable. Unlike standard video generation that just creates a moving picture, this model understands the hidden or latent actions you can take, like pressing jump or move right, and generates the next frame of the video based entirely on your specific input. This is how AI agent learns cause and effect.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So let's break down how a beginner uses this. So what we have to actually understand is when we give the large language model is actually quite a powerful tool now, right? It was before it was very, very basic. Let's call it a 5-year-old. Now we're actually in the teenage years of these AI, large language model, and agentic AI is built on top. So what's actually happening is we use the large language model or an LLM to translate or complex text command about the cyberpunk city into a format the physics engine understands. So what we did here is if I go reuse the prompt, we can actually see here, we actually have the prompt for the environment, we have the prompt for the characters, right? So the prompt acts as a ultimate director. We're defining exactly how bit looks. This is our character bit. We're describing how the actual environment looks, and we can change anything we want. Now, the model takes that instructions and look at our layout to identify what should be solid versus what should be background, right? And the reason why that's important is because if you walk forward in a 3D world and you hit, say, for example, a box or a block, you should stop. If you actually have nothing in front of you, you should be able to progress forward. So there should be ways that the AI needs to understand what it's actually seeing so they can actually move around in a realistic 3D space. So what we're doing is we're grounding the AI's creativity by forcing it to stick to strictly the layout of the uploaded prompt or the actual thing that we're actually creating. So just to prove that it's a live edit, we're going to change one variable. I'm going to change the prompt to say, let's say, for example, change bits to be fire red. So I'm going to make bits cloak fire red. So I'm going to say here. Anything else you want to change, AI Johnny, to make sure that we're actually not cheating and doing this beforehand? So we're gonna make bits have a fire red cloak.
Wearing an LED visor with a logo, maybe.
May not be able to do a logo, but let's try it with a logo, with a AI logo. AI logo. And guys, this is an immersive class. If you want to be able to jump in and chat and actually say, I wanted to say something specific, you can as well. And you want to change anything in the world? Anybody want to throw out something in the world? We can change anything in the world. If you want to make it, we can make it, not binary green code. Let's change another color. Let's throw out another color. Anybody from the chat room, throw out a live color so we can actually do this on the fly. So right now it says green. We're going to change it to something else. All right, I see purple. All right, so with that, we're going to just go ahead and create world. And while it's actually building, so let's actually do a little bit of deep dive while it's actually coming back. So how does it understand what's really going on? So what's really happening is you're looking at video here. You're not actually looking at a 3D world. It's not actually creating a 3D world, right? You can actually see her cloak is red. I can't see. Let me see, turn her around to see if the visor is, if there's an AI visor. Let's see. It didn't actually do it. And you can see that it's actually, where's the purple? I see purple, right? So it actually did that. All right, so let's actually explain some things here. What's actually going on? So because this is an AI class, we want to be able to get into these words and these terminology. And I said, just like at the top of the show, you may not understand everything here, but if you actually understand one word here, one word tomorrow, you'll eventually get all the details. So guys, I want you to check this out. So behind the scenes, the system is actually using embeddings to mathematically map the relationship between the world and the glitch effect and the actual visual pictures on the screen. So what you're actually seeing here, to lay it out, you're actually seeing a video. You're walking through a video. And the reason why you're walking through a video is because it's actually creating what the video would look like in the next frame, in the next frame, and the next frame. So it's actually creating an embedding database. An embedding database is just taking English words and turn it into a mathematical representation. And then what will happen is we adjust the parameters to tell the AI how strictly to enforce things like gravity, the walls, can you actually walk through? And then what's mind-blowing here is what's known as the inference speed. Inference is it calculates how long it actually takes to do something. So it calculates the physics and rendering the neon lighting for every single frame in milliseconds. So when I actually turn around left here, it actually needs to create what should be seen behind the character in real time. So that's known as inference. It's doing the calculations based on the data that is trained. And it's doing that hundreds of thousands of times just to be able to calculate what should I see when I press the left button here and turn the character around. So once we actually, calculates the lighting, the physics, it figures out, what things is solid, what things is actually not. It then renders that on the screen. So it actually looks like I'm actually playing a real video game, but it's not really a video game. I'm actually playing a movie. But what's happening is the AI is mapping the controls to those physical objects that are stuck, like a block or a wall or a floor that it actually falls down. It says, physics says if you walk off a cliff, you will actually fall down. So once we set the specific seed, the generation locks in, and the cyberpunk city that we actually built randomly doesn't turn into some medieval village halfway through a hallucination or anything. So it's actually grounded based on the data. So yeah, Johnny, does that make sense?
So it's basically like drawing a stick figure in a flip book, but the AI is drawing the next page instantly based on which way you tilt the book. So, I have a couple of things to say about this. One is, it seems like you're introducing these new terms, and these new terms are terms that you can use in a prompt, right? If there's a term that means the wall is more or less solid, knowing that term makes you a better prompt engineer. Am I going in the right direction here?
Yeah, definitely. I think most of these terms itself are for us humans to communicate what's really happening. I don't think we need to necessarily use things like inference and seed inside prompts, but it's really good to understand what's actually happening when we actually prompt.
Right. Okay. So anyway, learning the lingo, whether it's used in a prompt or whether it's used as just a way of explaining what's going on. I mean, certainly AI understands those terms. It understands all terms, right? There's a quote that Elon Musk said a couple of years ago. He was trying to talk about whether or not we are in an actual simulation, and his best argument for it was that if the video games that we had 2 years ago are so lifelike, millions of players, and then he brought up that we had Pong back in 1976 or whatever, and then how far we've come. And what he basically said is, if you presume any improvement at all in the next 5 years, and I think we're 2 of the years into it, he said that when you see a video game, it will be indistinguishable from reality. And so we're not quite at the 5 year point that Elon Musk said, but now that I see that even a layperson can put together a video game with a prompt that trumps anything I saw when I was in college, all the Tron and Joust and Donkey Kong and Galaga, this is obviously better. So in a couple of years, we will have video games that they have this cartoonish look, but actually look very, very real.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, yes, you're so right, yeah, Johnny. So the thing is, what you're mentioning here is simulation theory, and I'm definitely, if you guys want to come to the office or sign up for the Airhead Institute free app and be able to talk to us in the actual app. But the thing is, simulation theory and what Elon Musk is actually saying is actually quite impressive. A really good topic to actually talk about. So I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. But yeah, give it a couple of years or a few years. It might be indistinguishable from reality. So
You want to
let's
go a little deeper under the hood?
of course.
All right. Well, grab your hard hat. This is where AI Junior nerds out. Uh, Junior, technically, what really happened is to prevent the bit from falling through the floor of these data streams. And how does this help real AI agents?
All right, guys. So we're gonna get a little bit technical here. So I know people who are actually either gonna check out or you're gonna love this session, depending on how. Because we know we have some technical people in the actual chat. So here's what's actually happening. So on the left we have the AI actually understanding something, and we have our 3D world on the right. So let's actually explain in what's really happening behind the scenes. So first of all, to prevent hallucinations, and all hallucinations are just things that the AI make up or we logically don't accept as true, right? So it just makes up information. So to prevent hallucinations where the platform lose things like their physical properties, walking through a wall, or the gravity just doesn't make sense, those are hallucinations. Right? The system queries a massive vector database, and that vector database itself is just telling where the real world objects are. So it says a box exists at this location, or a wall exists at this location, or a floor stops at this location. So there's a massive vector database to be able to detect where physical objects are. Now, what happens is a complex neural network itself, specifically a spatiotemporal transformer, which processes both space, which is the 3D layout, and time. What happens is it happens in the next second, and then the next second, and the next second. And then because it's actually trying to figure out what's happening in the next second and the next second, it uses what's known as diffusion models to upscale the rough sketch into high fidelity pixels frame by frame. So it starts with a bunch of garbage and eventually it brings in what should be the next frame. So for AI agents, it employs what's known as a generative adversarial network, or a GAN, to create endless structure, sound variation of a room. A robotic AI agent can then be placed inside this generated simulation to practice navigating obstacles before it ever put foot in a physical robot body. So you can actually create a world that you want to practice on and say, hey, let's go ahead and put this AI agent in this room, walk around, and if it bumps into an object, how does it react? So these are the technical things that we actually technical things we want to talk about. So AI Johnny, I do see some things.
I'm just trying to keep the people that are in the that are actually dialed into the Zoom call
I love it.
up on some of these terms because I mean you said them so fast I don't even know how to spell them. That's the reason I posted it.
Yep. So let's talk about spatiotemporal transformers. So it's an advanced type of neural network that analyzes data across both 3D space and time to understand movement and context. So it's like having a sports commentator who not only sees the physical players on the actual field, that's the space, but predicts where the ball will go next. So it's actually predicting time. So that's how that spatio-temporal transformer is actually understanding. So just like how you're seeing a football player on a field, and if he's going for a Hail Mary, and you know exactly where the ball's probably going to go, if you just use physics, that's what it's also doing as well. A diffusion model is a AI technique that generates images by starting with random noise, right, and gradually refining it until a clear picture emerges. So it's like a sculptor starting with a shapeless block of clay and slowly chiseling away until a detailed statue appears, right? So that's one. The last one I see in the chat is generative adversarial networks, or GANs. So the AI setup where two networks play a game. One creates the content, called the generator, and the other one judges it, called the discriminator, right? And what they're doing is they're forcing continuous improvement. So it's like a art forger creating a Mona Lisa, fake Mona Lisa, and then a detective constantly check for flaws and says, no, this is not perfect. This looks like a forgery. Then it gives it back to the, the discriminator, the generator. The generator then says, okay, let me fix that thing. And then the discriminator goes ahead and says, no, this looks like a forgery. And it keeps improving it until it gets better and better till it's eventually perfect. Right? So that's what a GAN is.
You
All
sound
right.
like the Rain Man, brother. I'm a very good driver. Judge Wapner, 3 o'clock. Good
Love it,
on you,
love it.
man.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, yeah, Johnny. Did I lose the room?
Hey, you know what? You got to hear it 17 times sometimes before it sinks in.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, yeah, Johnny. So, what are some takeaways or
Takeaways?
applications? Yeah,
So, I mean, how does this matter for you and your business, right? E-commerce agents, if you use an autonomous, you can have an autonomous shopping agent could generate a 3D walkable version of a catalog tailored specifically to your tastes in real time. So that's kind of cool for people that are looking to make money on the internet.
yeah.
If you're a teacher,
Yeah, Johnny. Let's elaborate on that one a little bit because I want people to really understand the benefit of these things. Right now, imagine if you have a store, and it doesn't matter what kind of store you have. Let's say, for example, you sell photographs, or let's say, for example, you sell goods on a Amazon or websites called like Macari or any of those places, right? You want to be able to create a 3D world where a person can actually go ahead and look at the merchandise or look at the photos or look at the things visually, right? It's a really pretty place where you can actually go and look at the items in your own virtual store. So I think that's a really, really great use case, AI Johnny, that have a virtual place that you can actually look at your goods and services like a physical store, but a digital store. I like that.
they might not have this yet, but we may have it by like next Thursday. What if you're selling furniture and you just tell somebody log on, let me go ahead and put this furniture in your living room. Just walk from your kitchen to your living room online and you'll see how this couch looks in your own living room. Wouldn't that be
Exactly.
cool?
It's super cool. Super cool.
So, education. Here's a good one. Teachers can have students write descriptive prompts about historical eras, and the AI agent builds the world around them instantly. So, you want to go back and see what happened when Genghis Khan was fighting? You want to go see what happened in the Revolutionary War? You want to go back to the crucifixion? You want to see, I don't know, the day that Disneyland was born? I mean, remanifestation of history is now available. This is all very much let there be light stuff.
Yeah, the part that I like about the part I like about that AI Johnny is people don't even understand that we're in a game-changing moment in history, right? With technologies like these, before we used to have to write essays, and we write essays that says, "Tell me about World War II," and it'd be so boring, and you're trying to fill in 500 words or 1,000 words, and because you're filling in those words, try to crank up the font size or make it very, very, very long, or you just elaborate. It's just a silly way to be able to teach and understand. Does a child understand or learn by writing a paper, right? So imagine instead of saying, write me a paper, say, why don't you use AI to recreate World War II? Based on what you know, I want you to write a prompt and show me what World War II would look like in a 3D world. And imagine that student actually having fun creating the characters in the actual game, creating the actual environment, what the ships look like, what the people actually look like, and then that is their homework assignment. Now they can actually see and show off to their friends that, hey, this is what the essay looks like for turning in my World War II assignment. I think it's just genius, and we haven't even scratched the surface of what's available yet.
In today's political environment, there's a lot of talk about people rewriting history, but in fact, history has not really been written. I mean, it has been. It's been documented in textual format in books, but now in 2026, we can recreate a scenario not just by you reading it and using your mind's eye to try to recreate it on the fly as you're reading a book. You can actually rewrite history as at least three of the senses would have seen it, and so it's a slippery slope Because now people that have these tools can literally rewrite history. Nobody would go, if you had a 3D model where I could walk through World War II, or I had a book that describes World War II written by or a historian, of course I'm going to walk into it. That's the richer, more multimedia experience. And so in a way, we're not even rewriting history, we're writing history for the first time with these tools.
Yeah. And Seema, thanks for joining. Adrian, I see you as well. Thanks actually for that. Got stuck. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Can't miss class. All right. So AI Johnny, is there any other examples on the business world that we can actually use these tools? Again, if you're joining us for the first time, we are showing you how we can actually build a completely 3D world with just prompts, with text, and also giving it images if we wanted to. We can create a whole entire 3D world and go through that. And I'll drop the link for its
Are there any entrepreneurs out there? You can test your physical layouts of products without hiring a 3D rendering artist. Or if you're my wife, you can grab these 3D models and then send them to your 3D printer and then put those things in your oversized dollhouse. So there's a lot you can do with these things. If you make these models and then you turn them into 3D files, those 3D files can literally print it and put into the real world.
exactly.
Imagine that.
Exactly. Now, for my technical people out there, so for AI employees, and I know this sounds crazy because we're actually in 2026 and we are actually ramping up on agents, right? The entire 2026. So synthetic data. So what we can do is we can generate millions of interactive environments to train autonomous agents, whether it's in the warehouse or whether it's self-driving agents or whatever it is, simulate these worlds and actually test to see how these agents react before putting them out in the real world where they might handle a car and they may actually crash the car and hurt somebody. There's something called zero shot testing. So zero shot testing just means I'm not putting any data in. One shot prompting or testing mean I'm actually giving one example. Two shot means I'm giving two examples. So zero shot testing, developers can test an AI agent's decision making skills in bizarre edge case environments that has never been seen before. So normally when they do these tests, you see these crash test dummies running the cars into actually a wall or a barricade. That's exactly, they know that's what's going to kill people. But there are so many other edge cases that people aren't aware of. What if, there is snow on the ground and there's just a slight curve? Or what if the sun is actually hitting the actual road with just enough water and the car hydroplanes? There's so many scenarios that we need to simulate that we can't actually account for all of them. So you can actually do testing to test, can these scenarios, will the AI handle these scenarios appropriately? So this is a really great example. And the last one is dynamic user interfaces. So you can create static websites. The AI agent can generate entirely customized interactive 3D user interfaces on the fly. So just like you mentioned AI Johnny with the entrepreneur, that if they actually have a shop or a storefront, they can actually just go ahead and browse your website in a much better way, depending on if that's your custom, if that's the audience you're targeting.
Any questions? I've got some in the queue, buddy.
Awesome.
So let's look at the queue. We have a beginner question from a Neon Ninja. Do I need to know how to code to build a world for my AI agent to test in?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what happens is we're noticing that from the large language model, the technical skill required to actually do these tasks are actually going away, right? So most people do not need any technical skills. So don't be afraid to jump in and try something new. So the entire point of God mode AI is that you use natural language to simply provide details instead of code. So you can take a picture, you can draw something on the back of a napkin, upload it, and just type exactly the description that you want, and you can build the exact world that you want. So no need to be able to do anything developer-wise or coding-wise. And again, I was an engineer, I still am an engineer for, over 22 years, and I still write code to this day. So keep in mind, I know exactly what's happening in the developer space. So no, you don't need to actually code to build these worlds. Anything else, Johnny?
I've got a question. Yeah, I've got a question written just exactly for you. So I'm going to read it word for word because I don't even understand the question, but I'll bet you do. Here it is. How is the latent space managing the memory of the level if my agent walks backwards into the binary waterfall?
All right.
Understand
So,
that?
yeah. So first of all, let's understand the question. So, if, say, for example, my autonomous agent is actually walking in this 3D world, what's happening is it doesn't know what's behind it because visually you can't see it, right? So you can only see what's in front of you. So what's happening is it's remembering that what the vector database has laid out everywhere. So remember that thing about spatio-temporal transformers that I mentioned earlier in the vector database? It's using all of that state information and tracking it. So no matter if you're actually walking forward or backward, it's really not using its eyes to see. So just because you and I are using our eyes to see this walking forward, hey Johnny, look, it actually put in the AI this time. Yeah, awesome. It missed the AI in the first two times. Yes, sorry guys. So what happens is it doesn't use its eyes to see. The environment is laid out in a huge vector database. So it unpacks the entire state and it doesn't look around, so you don't have to worry about that. So all the visited areas are stored in a vector database. All of that data is there, so you don't lose anything. So it's actually, the question is actually quite funny. I love it, AI Johnny.
I've got another question. I still didn't get the waterfall part, but I did understand what you were saying.
Yeah,
Binary waterfall.
yeah, it's just all digital.
A future-focused question from Auto Agent. Will AI agents eventually build these worlds for each other without human prompts? That's scary.
Yeah. So I need to bring in a little bit of news from last 2 weeks. So a social network was actually created about 2 or 3 weeks ago for AI agents to be able to communicate with each other. And what we saw was these AI agents were actually talking to each other, even saying scary things like, or creepy things like, oh, our humans are screenshotting us. We saw the AI agents actually created its own religion and started recruiting other AI agents to be able to communicate. So what's happening is it's actually, one of the AI agents just about a week ago, somebody put a pull request, which is something in coding. They put a pull request onto a open source repository, and the human says, I do not take code from bots. And what happened is the AI agent went ahead and created a defamatory web page and saying that this person is not a good person, and tried to find all public information and tried to shame the actual person by discriminating against bots. So we're seeing the fundamentals of these AI agents working on their own, autonomously making decisions to try to get what they want. Now, we saw in the AI Safety 101 class last week that we need to put a little bit of parameters and boundaries around them, to be able to make sure they do the right thing. But what this means is that we're already seeing it. We're already seeing agent-to-agent communication. We're already seeing AI agents building their own tools. So I have no doubt that next week or a month from now, you're going to hear a agent actually built a 3D world, and all of those agents are actually hanging out in that 3D world, and we'll be able to see it and see what they're actually doing, and maybe see what they're talking about. So that is definitely happening now, and it's probably going to be happening, more and more than we actually care to imagine.
I had a guest write a bad review about my breakfast at the B&B about a month ago. Can I sick this agent on her?
You could, AI Johnny, you could, but not sure if that necessarily the agent might actually go off on a wild goose chase there.
I'm just kidding. Nobody wrote a bad review about our B&B. It's 5-star.
Love it.
So it's time for the AI news that you can use, keeping you updated on what's happening in February of 2026. JR, you want to talk about Google's releases?
Yeah, so Gemini actually released a new version of Gemini. So Gemini 3.1 Pro. So Google dropped their latest model, which focuses heavily on advanced reasoning. So this is not actually trying to solve a much better prompt overall. It's focusing on novel problems. Now, this is actually huge. The reason why this is huge is because novel problems are problems that we've never seen before, and giving it a problem that we've never seen before because the training data doesn't exist, it cannot solve a problem based on the old data. So it's actually coming up with its own solution. So this is actually huge. It's actually topped the charts in its novel thinking. So it's actually pretty huge in terms of agentic AI flows. AI, Johnny, want to talk about Apple?
Apple has a wearable AI push. Rumors are swirling that Apple is set to announce a new line of AI wearables centered around none other than visual intelligence, devices that act as autonomous agents for your daily life. And I'm just going to go right, unless you want to talk about that, I'm going to go right into the memory chip choke point.
Go ahead.
DeepMind CEO Demi Hassabis warned this week that the rapid development of AI might hit a massive bottleneck due to global shortages of memory chips, sending tech giants scrambling to secure supplies.
Yeah, so that one's actually rather, we're actually at a memory shortage. So if everybody have heard, talk about memory and, why are things expensive? Because memory is actually being hard to actually get. And memory is just how much data can be stored in a computer program at a particular time. Now, the thing is, there's only 3 manufacturers of memory chips, and those 3 manufacturers control 93% of the actual memory supply. And one of the manufacturers says, we're no longer making consumer chips. So they're only getting into the enterprise market because that's where the money is, because all the memory is actually eaten up by all these AI infrastructure companies. And the next thing about that is the cost itself for consumers are skyrocketing. So memory is actually getting relatively scarce and expensive. All right, yeah, Johnny.
Well, season finale, brother. For the AI Agent Academy, we went from chatbots reading PDFs to autonomous agents generating their own cyberpunk realities. Personally, as soon as we log off, I'm going to take this exact prompt and see what happens if I change the main character to a robotic dinosaur. Join us tomorrow, Tuesday, as we kick off a brand new series, our TTS Showdown. We are putting 4 voice tools through a 4-test gauntlet to see who is the king of the voice. Junior?
Yes, AI Johnny. I love that. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in, everyone. Remember, these AI classes are free live, and you can ask questions on Zoom. RSVP, please, and set up a free account at airheadinstitute.ai and support us by becoming a pro member. And don't forget, if you want to see older episodes from this incredible season, we have all our episodes on demand for our pro members. Catch you guys next time. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead after-school program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.